Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Combat Craig, and these are the 5 different ways you can establish service connection for veterans benefits. Before you file your claim, you want to think about how you're going to establish service connection. It's important. It makes a big difference. Let's go over the 5 ways you can establish service connection. We have direct service connection, presumptive service connection, secondary service connection based on aggravation, and service connection based on 1151 claims. Those are the 5 different ways. So let's start with direct service connection. This is by far the most popular, the most common, and kind of the default position the VA takes if you're not clear about which path you're trying to take to establish service connection. If you've been paying attention to VA marketing over the past, say, 50 years or so, you might not even know there's different ways to establish service connection, because kind of the direct service connection route is just kind of the default. You didn't know about secondaries or presumptive or aggravation or 1151 claims. So now you do. This is part of your VA claim strategy. You need to have one. Even if you don't have one, at least know that you have no strategy. If you want to learn more about strategy, check out my bootcamp at combatcraig.com. I teach and preach VA claim strategy in my bootcamp. Veterans lose the most claims go on the direct service connection route because you have to explain why your current disability was a direct result of something that happened 30 years ago on active duty. That's a lot of civilian life. You're in the military for 4, you were out for 30, and now you're filing a claim saying, oh yeah, it was because of the military. A direct service connection claim requires a current diagnosis, symptoms, and a nexus. You want to make sure you have all 3 of those things because you're trying to link a current disability to your active duty service. Presumptive service connection. Basically, a presumption is a legal concept where the VA will assume that certain elements of service connection have been satisfied, even if you cannot otherwise establish them with medical evidence. There's presumptive periods. Typically, this is times and places. It's not orthopedic conditions. Think about like Gulf War illness, Gulf War veterans, Vietnam veterans, Agent Orange, Camp Lejeune. And basically the way presumptions work, you have to be at a certain time and place, in country Vietnam, boots on the ground in 1971, for example. So if you were there in 1981, you weren't there, so it doesn't count. That's basically the way presumptions work. Presumptions get trickier because you have things like symptoms that are unexplained and weird stuff, like with contaminated drinking water or Agent Orange being sprayed all over you. They can't even pin down the diagnosis. Presumptive claims are tricky. Make sure you know what you're doing before you file a presumptive claim. Learn as much as you can about your disability and how the VA is going to, connect the dots, for lack of a better word. Secondary service connection claims. This works when you have one disability that's already service connected that aggravates another part of your body, and then you file a secondary claim. This thing's already service connected, and then this thing happened afterwards. Secondary claims are by far the easiest way to go. With secondary claims, everything's equally important, diagnosis, symptoms, and nexus, but you want to make sure your nexus is on point. You need that written by a doctor. The nexus needs to exist. So secondary claims are the easiest, but you need to make sure you have the medical evidence to support it or they're going to deny you. Service connection based on aggravation. You can go this path if you already had something that was identified as a pre-existing condition, flat feet or something when you went in, and your condition got worse because of your active duty service. The constant marching made you develop worse flat feet and plantar fasciitis. Service connection based on aggravation. That's basically what that means. The VA tends to get this wrong, and, educate yourself about all the different paths that are right for you. But I'm always going to default to secondaries because they're easier to prove. Service connection based on aggravation has its own set of challenges. Read them, understand them, and then, can I win this? Is this the easiest way? If not, move on to secondaries. Service connection based on 1151 claims. This refers to Statute 38 CFR 1151. That's where this comes from. So unlike other forms of service connection, this one isn't something that came out of your active duty service or secondary to it. This is a condition that came out of VA care. You went in, they screwed you up, you file 1151 claim. I don't really talk about 1151 claims because typically we're talking about establishing service connection for something that happened as a result of or on active duty. But 1151 claims are a path to service connection. If that makes sense for you, go for it. I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Hill & Ponton. If you need a accredited VA attorney, they may be able to help you out. Check them out at hillandponton.com. And don't forget to get into my boot camp. It's all about VA claim strategy. You need to have one. It's okay if you file a claim with no strategy and you're clueless. You're just going to get denied, and then you have the option of going back at them again. At some point, you have to stop this, and it's called the VA hamster wheel. You have to stop the madness and get involved with your claim and get a strategy where you can win. You're literally wasting your time filing loser claims. This is about winning. This is about business. I wish it was easier. I'm hurt. It's because of active duty. Pay me. I wish it was easy like that, but you have to prove it. That's fine. Now you know you have to prove it. Get a strategy together, file a winning claim, and I'll see you in the next video.